Have you ever looked at successful international corporations like McDonald's and had a desire to achieve that same success? You might want to reconsider. I'm Brooke Thorman, and I'll be talking about global business communication issues. Although expanding business internationally can increase profits and bring about cultural diversity, many problems and drawbacks come with it, and I will discuss a few of these issues. According to an article by Holt News, one major issue presented is the inability to communicate with others and the cultural differences. The first obvious problem in any international business would be the language barrier. The business partners you could work with may know English, but this is not a guarantee. Another communication issue would be body language. Do your partners shake hands? Is eye contact good or bad? Simple hand gestures could be offensive to foreigners, and being aware of these is vital to success and unity in partnering in business. You also need to be aware of religious differences and beliefs you may have and be respectful of those differences. Another issue to consider are currency rates. Inflation is risky and unpredictable and can offset the balance of your business. Donald Lightstone puts it this way: exchange rates are volatile and greatly influence the competitiveness of companies. Ways have been found to lessen these risks. In the last decade, online sales have skyrocketed. Consider selling products online. Also consider the ways of shipment. Holt News explains the various ways of shipments, which are land, air, or sea. And this choice can be a major influence on your revenue and may limit the products you can sell overseas. In their book Management, Stephen Robbins and Mary Coulter illustrate how the faltering of one country's economy can have a domino effect on the other countries with which it does business. The political world is delicate, and political instability with which your business partners do business could devastate your business. Consider the different practices and policies as well among your business partners' government. Their ethical views could and probably are different from yours, which might cause issues when ethical dilemmas arise. Changes in political power could also influence the way your business operates. If you aren't working with a particularly capitalistic country, be aware of possible problems when persons in political power change. One problem companies may have that desire to expand abroad is not altering their marketing strategies and channels to fit the people groups they are trying to appeal to. Understandably, their organization wants to stay true to their products, but you have to be aware of your market. If you look at the success of McDonald's in other countries, it's because of their alterations in products to fit their local market. For example, in China, you can order a side of rice, and in India and places in the Middle East, McDonald's comply with dietary restrictions. In Brazil, McDonald's offers avocados on the burgers due to the South Americans' partiality to colorful and more flavorful options. McDonald's didn't stray away from their original product, they simply altered it to please the market, thus gaining more success overall. Along with not adapting channels, organizations also fail to adapt the product offering. Companies believe that due to the success of one product in a foreign country means success in another, but you have to realize you're always dealing with very different customers with different values and interests, likes and dislikes. You also have to consider varying pricing. What one customer might consider valuable in one country, another customer might think is of less value somewhere else, and you'll have to adjust to that. Even though you're focused on your company, you must consider and remember that your customer is your biggest market. Here you can see the 7 P's of marketing, and this applies to global marketing and management. This graph presents an overall theme of management, and each of these points should be considered. According to Marketing 4th edition by Drew Gruel and Michael Levy, globalization refers to the processes by which goods, services, capital, people, information, and ideas flow across national borders. Through this process of globalization requires openness, which can cause a possible threat of terrorism. The safety of your information, employees, and your business should be considered and well thought out. According to management, some individuals think globalization is a euphemism for Americanization and has negative connotations. Other countries believe America is trying to take over and therefore have resentment towards globalization of American companies. International management of human resources requires a broad outlook and, like what was mentioned earlier, can present potential risk of terrorism. The payments to employees is handled by HR and can face racial and ethnic problems, especially if the HR manager of the particular branch is not of the same ethnicity. As a potential future manager desiring to expand your business internationally, consider the workforce you will be managing. The book Management explains cross-cultural work terms can have many benefits, but conflicts arise due to differences in work methods, pay levels, and language barriers. He goes on to say how multicultural teams are faced with the challenge of managing the cultural differences in work-family relationships. The work-family practices and programs appropriate and effective for employees in one country may not be the best solution for employees in other locations. Managers need to understand and be able to efficiently work with these differences. Also, knowing when and how to communicate with your employees is an important consideration. Time differences can bring about quite a challenge when attempting to communicate quickly among business partners. How will you communicate? If a business call or Skype is needed to conduct a meeting, finding an appropriate time could be difficult. Knowing how to manage those differences is very important to the success of your business. There are ways to handle these issues. It's important to have cultural awareness and sensitivity skills, defined as cultural intelligence, knowing the variance in culture and the behavioral differences in those cultures. Be mindful of signals and reactions in cross-cultural situations. Another effective concept to have as an international manager is to have a global mindset. These are attributes that allow a leader to be effective in cross-cultural environments. As a global leader, you must be careful to avoid parochialism and the attitudes associated with this idea. Parochialism is viewing the world solely through your own perspectives, leading to an inability to recognize differences between people. People with this type of view ignore others' values and customs and apply the "our way is best" method to foreign cultures. An attitude associated with parochialism is ethnocentric attitude. This is the parochial belief that the best work approaches and practices are those of the home country or where the headquarters are located. Managers with this attitude believe people in other countries aren't skilled enough or don't have as much knowledge as people in the home country, and thus don't trust their decision-making skills or abilities. Another attitude associated with parochialism is a polycentric attitude, which is defined as the view that the managers in the host country know the best work approaches and practices for running their business. People with this attitude trust no foreigner's work or operational skills. A global attitude that should be sought after as a global manager would be a geocentric attitude. This is a world-oriented view that focuses on using the best approaches in people from around the globe. This is the best attitude because it doesn't look at ethnicity or background, but on the best methods to accomplish work. According to the article titled Performance Management in the Context of Globalization, an international organization will go through 3 global attitudes of ethnocentric, polycentric, and then geocentric attitude, which is what each international organization should strive to work by. Expanding your business is risky and could end up failing. Where you want to move abroad to will present cultural and social differences. Governmental systems are fragile and some are very unstable, which could devastate your company. Threats of terrorism are also dangerous, and your business might not be ready. What global mindset does your company have? If you aren't too familiar with the new culture and don't have quite a geocentric attitude yet, expanding your business abroad might not be the best option.